So now we're going to cover a Fobik keyless go like found in the Jeeps. Obviously you have to have the correct key for the vehicle with the proximity system. So on this system we're working with a simulator and the start button's been removed. But if you come to a keyless go and you have no keys, the first step is getting the dash to power up so that you can hook the Dmax and get data from the vehicle. So the first step is to remove the button off the front of the wireless control module. Then take your new keyless go key, insert it into the ignition and switch the ignition on. This will allow the dash to be powered up when all the keys are lost. At this time, open the application and wait for the Dmax to connect to the PC. This should be a very fast process. After the Dmax connects, go to Select Vehicle and Auto-Identify, as always. Make sure the ignition is turned on and the DLC is hooked to the car. At this time, you should see the dash lighted. Hit the Continue Operation button. Now, for the purpose of this vehicle, I'm hooked to a simulator. So ignore the Chrysler 300. This is a 2012 Grand Cherokee. So on this particular model, you go through and read the skim code of the vehicle like normal in all the other videos, and you program the ignition key. When you're done programming the ignition key, it'll say ignition key program successful. So I'm going to go through and read the skim off of the vehicle first, and I'm going to try and program a new ignition keyless go key. Pulls the pin number and you run through the key programming process like always. Now I'm going to remove this because it's the wrong key for the vehicle. It should populate the skim and you hit validate data. You should hear the Jeep ding and the light should go out. At this point you hit the finish button, let it complete, then cycle the key off and back on. At this point, with the key inserted, the car should start and run. When you switch the key on, the security indicator light should go off. At this point, only the proximity portion of the key is yet to be programmed. The transponder is already programmed, but it must be inserted in the WCM. For the next step, you have to run PEM replace. So on a vehicle that has keyless go, if you notice, PEM replace may not be in the menu that you auto-identified to. In this case, click on Select Vehicle. Click on the Year button twice and manually pick the 2012 Grand Cherokee. This can be done on any vehicle other than a Grand Cherokee to program the proximity portion of the key. If you notice, PEM replace is in the menu. It's important before running PEM replace that the ignition is cycled off, remove the key, wait 10 seconds, put it back in, turn the ignition back on, and then run the PEM replace function. This portion of the programming programs the passive entry module with the proximity functions so that it will work correctly in the vehicle with the start button reinserted on the WIN module. At this point, you can take out the key when this is done, and I'm going to abort this because I'm on the wrong vehicle, but as soon as the PEM replace, it'll say PEM replace successful. At this point, you can shut the key off, replace the start button, and the vehicle should start when you press the start button and the brake together. If the vehicle is not starting in proximity mode, make sure you have the correct key type from your key vendor. If you're programming a regular prox key into a keyless go system and it doesn't have the proximity antenna, the PM replace is going to fail and the car is not going to start in prox mode. At that point, you would have to remove the start button, manually insert the key, and start it with the button removed.
If you have any further questions or difficulty, please call AE Tools Tech Support. Thank you and have a wonderful day.